Hello there YouTubers and all fellow YouTubers, this is the Puppet Master.
There are no strings on me.
And today I'm coming to you with my very first online deck profile here, and it will be my Heraldic Beast deck. This is my recent deck and it's certainly one of my absolute favorites. I love you, Heraldic Beast. But really, they're so simple yet so effective in battle. They might not be the best competitive deck, but I'm not a competitive player in that sense, or a meta player, so I'm just going to show you what my deck's about. Keep in mind that some of the cards in here you say, well, that doesn't fit in our Heraldic deck. Well, too bad, it's my deck. So we're going to begin, put this aside, with the main deck. So first we will begin with 3 copies of Heraldic Beast Leo. Very obvious, this is the search of the deck. It's one of probably the best cards that you can imagine. It works really well. You just detach it as Exceed material, send it away with, for example, Foolish Burial, if that's your niche, but still. And otherwise, just sending it with, for example, the effect of Amphi's Bane always work. Whatever, get it in the graveyard, you get a free search. And everyone likes a free search. Then we will go with 3 copies of Heraldic Beast Aberconway. It's an 1800 beater then, that's regularly very good. And when you have 2 of them in the graveyard, you can remove 1 from play and add a Heraldic Beast to it. Any Heraldic Beast. So whichever you do, it doesn't really matter. But still, it's always nice to have such effect ready when you need it. Then 3 copies of Heraldic Beast Amphi's Bane. This one is really a core part of this deck. It is so amazing. You discard 1 Heraldic Beast and you can special summon it. So for example, you discard Leo, and before you know it, very boom, you have another Heraldic Beast in it. Which in such case you can always discard again to activate the second effect, which sometimes you can use, but it's not always useful. He gains another 800 points. To some cases it can work really well, but you have to use it if you think it's useful, then definitely your niche. But in my case it hasn't happened to me regularly, but still. Then 2 copies of Heraldic Beast Twin-Headed Eagle. This is a card that you sometimes summon using Amphi's Bane after you summon Amphi's Bane, and then you can go into one of the best rank 4 Xyz monsters, Lightning Chidori. Now I'm unfortunate enough to not have a Lightning Chidori, but having this card in your deck at 2 always works out, and when you have it in your graveyard and you need a monster that needs Xyz material, for example the very much well known number 101 Silent Honor Arc, then this card is perfect for it. I just run it at 2 because I think 3 is a bit too much. And then 2 Heraldic Beast Basilisk. I considered it at 1, but I thought 2 worked better. It's not the best card in the deck, but its effect is really useful. When this card battles a monster, no matter what, it will be destroyed. Notice, it works just so well, and it's just so very cool looking. For example, now, on to the next one. It's 2 Heraldic Beast Unicorn. Unicorn is basically a card you, for example, send away with number 18. Or you discard using Amphi's Bane. This card is good in the graveyard because when it is, you can revive a Psychic Xyz monster from your graveyard. Any Psychic Xyz monster. Its effect, however, is negated. But that's a real shame, for example, if it's with Patriarch or Crest, but still. Having it back is not a problem. For example, you can use Patriarch's effects all over again. Then, 1 Heraldic Beast Burner's Falcon. Its effect is, when this card is summoned, you can make all face of level 5 or higher monsters you control level 4, become level 4. So unless you have mind control, this card really doesn't work well, but I really like it, and this is a pure Heraldic Beast deck with all Heraldic Beasts, and that's my decision, so I put in a Burner's Falcon. At 1 it's good, summon it, and then use Kage to Kage or something, and you can go for an easy rank 4 Xyz monster like Honor Arc, and that's never bad. Then 1 copy of Heraldic Beast Ale. You can special summon this card from your hand if you have 2 or more Heraldic Beasts. And in the case if you want to summon number 69, this card works out really well. Because all you have to do is get 1 on the field, like Amphi's Bane with this effect. Summon another one, you can special summon this one, and boom. It's so very easy to spam monsters with it. Plus the 1800 defense isn't all that bad, so in case of it can always work as a defender. And now we go on to Performer Pal Whipsnake, one of the only non-Heraldic Beast monsters in the deck. This card works just really well because it can switch your monsters to attack and defense, also during your opponent's turn. So that works out really well. And with, for example, number 103, this card is a perfect combo to really screw your opponent over during their turn. So they basically have no field. And finally, for the monster engine, we have 2 copies of Kage Tokage. Very simple, not much to explain here. Next, we have, for the spell cards, we have 3 copies of Heraldry Reborn. It's basically a monster reborn, so keep it at 3, you never know when you need one. Then 1 copy of Augmented Heraldry. I considered putting it as 2, but I found it to be too cloggy because I would draw 2 at the same time. And that's never good. So 1 is good enough, to my opinion, to my knowledge. 2 copies of MSD because back row removal. 3 copies of Advanced Heraldry Art. It's basically a Miracle Fusion for Heraldics. 1 Soul Charge. 1 Raigeki. 1 Book of Moon. And 1 Rank Up Magic Limited Barrier Force, which I will show in a while. Now onto the traps. We have 1 Mirror Force, 1 Compulse, 1 Bottomless, 1 Warning, 1 Call of the Haunted, and then we have 2 Heraldic trap cards. Heraldry Record. This is a trap card that basically stops your monsters and just negates and destroys an exceed monster or your opponent's field when they activate their attack. And Heraldry Change is used for stopping your opponent's attacks and then summoning a Heraldic Beast from your hand. So that's the main deck. We'll just put that to the side. And now we'll go for the extra deck. First one, the ace of the deck, the best monster it can have. Heraldic King Genome Heritage. For any card, like the infamous number 101, this card is perfect. It might not be the best in the sense of attack, but when you put up against the likes of Silent Honor Arc or Silent Honor Dark or Ragnar Zero, this card is perfect. It negates their Exceed monster's abilities and gets the ability to use its own. And you don't have to detach anything for it, so that's really amazing. It's easy to make. It requires 2 level 4 Heraldic Beasts. But in that sense, it's really the ace of my deck, and it's my favorite card in this deck. And I love using it. I didn't get to use it many often, but when I got to, my opponent was sometimes really screwed. Then we have 2 copies of number 18 Heraldry Patriarch. I wouldn't say this is the best card in the deck, but it's certainly good. I want to have it at 3, but I have it at 2 because 2 is enough. I mean, this card is so easy to summon back, and then its effect will be recycled all over again, so 2 is enough. It isn't the best card in terms of its effect that you can destroy 2 monsters with the same name. Doesn't happen often, but when it happens, my opponent can't do but sit back and watch as the disaster unfolds. Its effect you don't really pull off very often, but the second effect you definitely always do. 1 number 69, Heraldry Quest, the boss of the monster of the deck, sort of. Its effect is really good. It requires 3 Heraldic Beasts. And it's mostly used in conjunction with Rank Up Magic Limited Barrier Force, but I'll show you that in a moment. 1 Diamond Dire Wolf, because rank 4. I don't really have Silent Honor Arc or Lightning Jodori, and that's really bad. But they're really expensive, and I don't really have the probability to buy them at this present moment. And yeah, that is rotten, but still. So this is what I have to work with for now. I'll make an update when I have more. Abyss Dweller, always a good card. Number 104, Masquerade. King of the Feral Imps, because Kage Tokage and Perform Pel. Number 103, Ragnar Zero. This card is really amazing. For instance, just like with the aforementioned Perform Pel. Photon Preoperative. Gagaka Samurai. And then we have 2 Chaos monsters. We have Chaos number 106, Giant Red Hand. It's basically a Fiendish Chain. So would rank up. And finally, Chaos number 69, Heraldry Crystal Aura. That's 4,000 attack points, and when your opponent attacks, all monsters are destroyed. And it's better if you exceed some of this, so that's why I have rank up him. I feel I might consider basically for more for Silent Honor Arc and Dark, but I will find those. So that's my Heraldic Beast deck. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any input on what to change, maybe let me know in the comments down below. I will make a more deck profile later, probably on my Nordics, but that will be fun for now. This was the Puppet Master, and remember, there are no strings on me. So I'm sure there are no strings on you.